I'm Jesse McAnally.
And I am Andrew DeWolf.
And welcome to Musicals with Cheese, a podcast where I try to get Andrew to like musical theater. And this week we have an extra special guest.
A very special guest.
Oh, yes. Please join me in welcoming the host and creator at Big Beak Entertainment on YouTube. It's Mr. Big Beak himself.
Hey, thank you so much for having me on the show. It's a real honor.
Yeah, it's great. Is that your real name? Is that like on your birth certificate and everything?
Yeah. Well, I am, ethnically, I'm a toucan. I'm just not religious.
Okay.
But
it's pretty clear it's a toucan.
I do have you might know me by my real name, Doug Walker.
Oh. Tell me,
we finally got him.
We got him, guys.
I do have a much more successful and much better channel. I think that guy with the glasses.com. I hope you really enjoyed my movies. The one that go into space, I don't fucking remember.
My favorite is definitely Suburban Nights, but Kick-Assy is pretty good too.
I still think your best film ever was the 1 year brawl celebration.
Oh, that one's great.
Yeah.
Don't forget the classic shorts, Melvin, Brother of the Joker. That's a pretty good one.
Or Let's Play Bart's Nightmare.
Oh, Let's Play Bart's Nightmare. You can't forget the classics.
I'm going to be straight with you guys. I've literally never watched a single one of my videos.
Nor should you. No, we're so excited to have you with us, Big Beak.
Thank you so much.
You, as far as the internet is concerned, are the penultimate fan of this topic we're getting into. You have slowly outpaced everyone else.
Yeah, penultimate, I guess, is the word. I think Toonrific Tariq's got a leg up on me.
Yeah, but he's never going to finish that.
Yeah, no, he's never in a million years going to finish that. But I am just really excited to be here, and I'm so sorry, you guys.
Who's
Mom? I'm doing the podcast. No, I can't pause it. It's online. Practice your trumpet outside, please. Okay, I'm so sorry about that, you guys. I swear that almost never happens.
Hey, Beak, I want you to not take this offense, but is your mom single?
No, she is a soloist, though.
I always knew Doug Walker lived with his mom.
Too many bits! This week, we are talking about You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. If you haven't picked up on the bits, cue the music.
You're a good man, Charlie Brown. You're the kind of reminder we need. You have humility, nobility, and a sense of honor that is very rare indeed. You're a good man, Charlie Brown, and we know you will go very far. Yes, it's hard to believe, almost frightening to conceive. What a good man you are. You are kind. You are kind to all the animals and every little bird. With a heart of gold, you believe what you're told. Every single solitary word. You bravely face adversity. You're cheerful through the day. You're thoughtful, brave, and courteous.
And you also have some faults, but for the moment, let's just say
That you're a good man, Charlie Brown. You're a prince, and a prince could be king. With a heart such as yours, you could open any doors. You could go out and do anything. You could be King Charlie Brown. You could be
You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown is a musical written by John Gordon and Michael Mayer, with music and lyrics by Clark Gesner and Andrew Lippa. Based on the characters created by the cartoonist Charles M. Schulz in his comic strip The Peanuts. The first version of this, the first off-Broadway production, was done on March 12th, 1967. It ran for 1,597 performances. The book was credited to John Gordon, although Clark Gesner said that John Gordon was not a real person, but it was instead a collective pen name that covered himself and the cast and production staff, everyone contributing to the script. So that's kind of funny. You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown also was revived on Broadway on June 1st, 1971 at the John Golden Theater with an entirely new cast, however, closed only after 15 previews and 32 regular performances. Didn't last a month. A second Broadway revival came in 1999. The character of Patty from the original 1967 performance was replaced by Sally Brown. New dialogue was added by Michael Mayer and additional songs and orchestrations by Andrew Lippa. The 1999 Broadway revival was nominated for 4 Tony Awards, winning 2. It has been adapted for television twice as a Hallmark Hall of Fame episode, which first aired on NBC in 1973, and as an animated television special, which was first shown on CBS in 1985. The character of Patty was replaced by Sally Brown in that original cartoon and the Broadway revival. So, this show is based on the beloved Charles Schulz comic. Charlie Brown and the entire Peanuts bunch explore life's great questions as they play baseball, struggle with homework, sing songs, swoon over their crushes, and celebrate the joy of friendship and the hatred of all your friends. All right, so you're a good man, Charlie Brown. Big Beak, famously, in your Charlie Brown ranking video, this special was, I think, like the second lowest.
No, it was the third lowest.
Oh, I was close, though.
I think the only ones below this were the fucking birthday one and one that I can't remember, so it probably belongs even below the birthday one. Oh, no, the football one.
The roller skate one and the football one, yes.
No. Yeah, the roller skating one, and you're in the Super Bowl, Charlie Brown, which I think you could only get from, like, select Shell gas stations.
I don't think Charlie Brown would do well in the Super Bowl. He's notably not very good at sports.
Well, no, he didn't make it to the Super Bowl. It was some rando named Melody.
Yeah, Linus almost won, but Melody stole it for the last minute.
Melody. Yeah, that's
My name is Melody. I've been watching you. Melody. That's beautiful. Thank you.
Is it stealing if it's in a contest though? Like, I don't go to like, you know, a like poker competition and it's like, oh, well, you know, I almost won, but you know, I was just $1 million short or something.
It's stolen if you deserved it more.
Yeah.
And they took it from
It's
you.
like an election. If you tweet about it louder.
Yeah, it's like an election. You just say that they stole it from you.
Yeah, okay. Well, in that case, I stole the ranking of You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, because that was the one that I got the most complaints about.
Really?
Every single high school drama student came out of the woodwork to leave a comment on that video that said something like, hey, I think you are really harsh on You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown.
My high school did a performance of this, and I was in it. I was playing Sally Brown, and it was so good.
Yeah, exactly. You know who I didn't get that comment from? Do you know the people that didn't comment that on the channel were those people's parents?
Fuck Sally Brown. They should have kept Patty.
No, they should have replaced both of them with Charlotte Braun. And
Charlotte Braun, yes, the classic character. My favorite.
Well, then you can have like a death halfway through the play.
Yes!
That's really what it's missing. Just like every middle school production, it's like thoroughly modern Millie, like with a white slavery in My Sister's middle school production. It's like, you know, just have a murder halfway through.
So I reached out to you because, sincerely, your Charlie Brown videos, I am not a Charlie Brown fan. I think we've brought this up on the podcast strangely more often than we should have. But I just watched them a lot, and I have no interest in watching any of the specials, but I will rewatch your videos very often, and I continue to plan to do so. And I knew that so many people have requested You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown on the show because they're the same people that bitch at you for putting it so low on your list. So I really wanted your opinion on the proper stage show, both the 70s version and the 90s version, just to get the vibes. And what are the vibes for you? Is it better than you thought it was, or is it even worse?
Oh, it sucked.
Oh my goodness!
I'm just gonna be dropping the hot takes all throughout this. All
right.
I don't know how you want to structure this conversation because this is a production with 50 years of like bullshit behind it. So,
well, I'll start with the original idea of it, and then we'll jump in. So this is technically the first Peanuts fan fiction, if you really think about it, because the composer was just working on this. Clark Gessner was just working on this on his own, trying to get the rights and keep getting rejected by everyone he was going to. But he kept writing, and then one day he just sent it to Charles Schulz, begging, like, hey, can I do this? And Charles Schulz was like, yeah, do it. This is good. I like this. And got the endorsement and eventually went off Broadway, where it was a massive success, thousands of performances. Like, really, really big show.
I will say, I don't think that you should take Charles Schulz's endorsement as like some like gospel that it's going to be a good product, because Peanuts has been commercialized all the way like to the moon.
Like the original special, the Christmas special was a Coca-Cola product placement, wasn't it?
Yeah. Linus gets rammed into a Coke sign. My kind of, and obviously I never met Charles Schulz. My take on the man, just from what I have read about him and the work that I've seen from him, is he was a mildly cynical, deeply introspective man who lived a lot of his life in his own head. And the most interesting thing he ever did was go to France in World War II, but he like didn't even kill any Nazis. So but when he got validation for something, he was like super jazzed. Like, he was like thrilled out of his mind when Snoopy and Woodstock were made lifetime masters by the American Contract Bridge Association. Like, it was not that hard to like get Schulz on side. His work is also good, so it's also not too hard to adapt, as you will see by the dozens of Peanuts TV specials, handful of movies, and infinite Snoopy plushies that have circulated around.
You mean he would have fully endorsed all, like, what is it, the MetLife ads and shit that they've been attached to post-death?
Yes, I think that he would have endorsed this if it was a steaming pile of crap, but I think the album is actually quite good. I really like the original concept album.
See, I don't love the original concept album. I don't love the Broadway revival. The only time I think the show works is when kids are putting it on in high school. I think that's where the show is like really effective. The charming moments are charming for the same reasons that the original specials are charming. It's a bunch of kids putting on a show and trying their best.
Well, we can talk about why it's so prolific in high schools. I have a couple of theories. The first is that it's a remarkably simple show. You know, you have 6 characters. One of them is a dog. You know, you can put it on in like the middle of bumfuck Alabama, with your, homeschool class.
Everybody gets a lot of time.
Yeah, there's no like stars. It's an ensemble.
And the biggest thing is there's a lot of female roles where they get a lot to do, which you don't get in most musicals.
And it's short.
Yeah, well, even what you could do, like if you don't have like the right like cast balance, you could just say like, yeah, Schroeder's out, we're putting in like Marcy instead. Like you can just switch out the characters, and they very well did with Sally and Patty, because it really doesn't matter. They don't do a whole lot in the narrative. There really isn't much of a narrative to speak of. And I guess this is something that we can talk about in relation to the original concept album.
Yeah.
Because you have these, songs that are very, kind of short, droll, quippy kind of, dry humor, very Peanuts like, Schulz could have written these songs theoretically. And then it's like, okay, well, how do we put that into a musical? Which is, I guess, the conversation that, Clark Gessner was having with, I don't know, Bob Balaban or whoever was working on this with him. And, I don't know if you've ever seen the modern American classic, Mamma Mia.
Yeah.
But
and 2.
Yeah, both, obviously cinema and musicals at the top of their craft. But I think we can learn a little something from them, because they take these pre-existing songs and like actually structure a story for them. And then when they did that for Your Good Man, Charlie Brown, they just took the pre-existing songs and then said, okay, I'm done.
Yes, but vignette shows aren't the most rare things. And in the 60s, we were having this kind of tribe musical style come out with like Godspell. Like, strangely, I felt a deeper connection to Godspell than I did for any other kind of musical right here. Maybe even Hair, where it's just like, shit happens. There's going to be a song and a quick scene, and then we're going to move on.
It just feels like they're doing a bunch of comics, essentially. It's like, that's all it feels like to me. Like, they reference a bunch of stuff that happens in the comics, and they just kind of run with it, and there's no coherent overall narrative or anything like that.
Yeah, well, that's something that I think really crops up, especially in the 99 revival.
Let's talk about the 70s TV production really quickly.
I really don't think think you have anything to worry about, Charlie Brown.
Which is probably the closest way we could ever get to watching what the original Broadway cast was like. I know it looks like it was shot on a potato and is like literal like garbage to the eyes. But what you could see, what did you think?
Every single like face looked like a Fallout 3 character. This line comes to mind.
Now, Linus, this is what you call a failure face.
There was very much a failure of faces. I think that like it obviously was broadcast. I don't know if this was like taped or something.
It was broadcast for, I think it was like Hallmark. It was like this quick thing, but they tried to hide it really quick as soon as they found out they were doing an animated version.
Yeah, the one that you had sent me, it was like, it seemed like it didn't even start yet by the end of it. They like ended it and they're like, now time for the Hallmark feature with like Ricardo Montalban as the Fantastics. And I'm like, well, why didn't we watch that?
Part of me wishes we did. That's another one that people keep requesting is the Fantastics, but no, I'm like, I'm going to do the Blues Brothers.
We're never doing Fantastics.
I've read the plot for that. It seems like it sucks.
There's an entire song. It was back in the days when rape meant to steal, but they keep saying rape.
Oh.
Like,
Stop saying it.
Time to rape this person. And I'm like, no! Andrew, I know that was the first one you watched. What did you think of it? And nightmare fuel, whatever.
I mean, honestly, it's hard to push past the fact that it looks like fucking shit. So I actually didn't watch this one first, though. I watched the animated one first.
Okay. So, like, how do they compare, in your opinion? Because Big Beak also watched the animated one first.
Honestly, they feel like the same thing, except for this one's worse. This one just, it's like, looks like ass. It doesn't have, like, any of the animation charm that the animated one has, which I like the Peanuts a lot, but I hate the specials, like all of them. I just think that the comics are the only way to read the Peanuts, and fuck the specials. But this one feels like it's close to the comics in a way. Like everything is a reference to the comics, more so than the specials ever do to me. I don't know. I can't figure out how I feel about this.
I think that's an extremely appropriate reaction. Because there really isn't much here to latch on to. It's not like there's like, you know, I was really gripped by like the story of like Lucy deciding to like become less of a bitch. Like you're not like really supposed to identify with like anyone. It's just Vibes, the musical. What are the vibes of Charlie Brown? Bad, I guess.
Yeah, it's pretty unpleasant. Everyone hates him.
Well, yeah, but that's what the comics are about. Like.
Well, look, at least I can look at the fucking comics. That's why I think we really are having a hard time pinning this down, because like, how can you tell what the vibes are when I'm like, I can't see what the hell's going on?
So yeah, the blurry TV special is pretty fucking bad.
Yeah,
maybe it looks better in when it first came out. Maybe we have like a shitty taping of the special that got fucked up with magnets or some shit. I don't fucking know.
VHS wasn't popular in the 70s. They probably had a third generation tape that is now the only one going around forever.
I think this was on like tubes or something. It's like this was like peeled off the inside of like a glass filament or something.
We'll never know if this version was good.
I mean, we can like. I'm going to extrapolate based on like the original album and the cast recording from the original musical. And I'm going to say that it was about the same. I'm going to say that there have been no improvements of You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown in the last 50 years. They produced a musical in 1969 and then we landed on the moon and then they said, okay, we're done. That's the end of the development for this musical. We're not going to make it any better. We're just going to make it longer.
There are moments I like in Andrew Lippa's editions. So let's talk about the animated special really quick.
Some days, I like to wake up early so that I can see the sunrise. And I think how beautiful it is and how my life lies before me. And I get a very positive feeling about things.
Oh boy, have I got some fucking things to say about this one.
All right. Let's go, Big Beak. I know you said it in your video, but what do you hate about this special?
Well, my primary feeling is
I can't stand it. I just can't stand it.
I think that they cut the best song, which because you know I was watching this in a vacuum originally, I was like, what is this about? You know, fucking nothing. And then I'm listening to the original album, and the song, what is it, Doctor is In or something, where Charlie Brown is going to his local roadside psychiatry stand, which really speaks to the state of like mental health care in rural America, that Charlie Brown has to go to like, you know, Lucy Van Pelt for his psychiatric evaluations.
I mean, 5 cents per session ain't that bad.
Lucy's pretty good at it too.
Let me let you in on a little secret, Charlie Brown. If you really want to impress girls, you need to show them you're a winner.
Do you think she's submitting claims from him?
I think she's buying gumballs with the
I don't believe that she would accept Charlie Brown's insurance, even if she did like cover it. She would know that no one else would be able to talk to him, so she could kind of shake him down for whatever she wants.
I always interpreted the stand as Lucy hates Charlie Brown and creates the stand because she wants to make fun of him. That's how I always interpreted it.
I guess I interpreted it as like Charles Schultz was like, I want to do a lemonade stand, but like, what's funnier than that? A psychiatry stand.
I mean, that is a funny gag, but it's also funny because Lucy hates Charlie Brown, and Charlie Brown's the only one that ever goes to the fucking stand.
And it is the idea that maybe your psychiatrist does hate you.
Well, even in the song, she's like, you're a piece of shit, Charlie Brown. And then she's like, she pulls it up at the end, like fucking, like, you know, Boeing 737 Max nosediving. She's just like, yeah, by the way, you're you. And that's like, you know, acceptable for now.
I'm me!
Charlie Brown, you're you.
Gosh, Lucy, you know something? I'm beginning to feel better already. You're a true friend, Lucy. A true friend.
That'll be 5 cents, please.
You know what? Fair. I do love that scene. That, like, I love moments in this show, but I agree, the animation and the kids here, no energy at all.
Oh, I'm going to disagree with that for one very specific reason. Can I play a bit from Dear Pen Pal?
Of course.
Dear Pen Pal, I'm told where you live is really quite far.
It's falsettos.
Would you please send directions on how I can get where you are?
Okay, so
obviously, you know, a castrato or something, but
I feel like that was a kid literally like had their parents like, how am I supposed to sing this? And it's like, just do it like this, and then they did it like that on the day.
Just
and
do it like this.
I'm gonna hit you with this.
Themselves.
I'm gonna hit you with this hot take. I think that's the best performance of that song that I've heard.
Oh my god! I mean, I get it. I don't even
goes pretty high. I mean, it's impressive.
I don't even think like technically it's impressive. I like when I hear that, I believe this is a kid like fucking breaking down in a way that I don't believe with who's it, Anthony Rapp in the '99 production.
Mark from Rent. Put respect on that name.
When he's not taking pictures of homeless people, he's he's being Charlie Brown.
all I know about Rent is like the joke from Team America World Police. Hey, do the one where everyone has AIDS.
It's not incorrect, but you should watch Rent, develop your own opinion, and maybe make a video of it. I would watch it.
Oh boy. My inbox is full on that one. I keep getting recommendations for more Peanuts products. I'm never going to do Lucy School, by the way, for any of my subscribers listening to me right now. I don't know.
Do you do the comics?
Yeah, but like, I'm not going to scan every comic and like, oh, I really like here's the thing about the comics. The comics are just straight up good.
Yeah.
There's not a lot to like riff on in like a YouTube video in the way that there is for the Peanut specials.
You could really get clickbaity, and you might want to cut this, Andrew, because this is a good idea. You might get clickbaity and just be like the Charlie Brown character that was murdered, and literally just that, and then just relay the Wikipedia page about Charlotte Brown, and then rake in the views.
I love Charlotte Brown so much. She's my like avatar on a lot of social media stuff.
Do you get like random fail mail wishing for your death?
Sadly, no.
That all goes to me.
Nobody has given me the axe yet.
Do you think that's the first example of somebody like wanting to like murder a fictional character and like the author actually doing it for them?
I can't think of another case where that's happened.
Well, Rose Tico from Star Wars.
I was just gonna say that. I was like, that character is gone, right?
Basically, what happened.
I mean, death without dying is what happened to Rose Tico.
I mean, they never killed Charlotte Braun in the comic.
No, she's fucking dead. She died in a home invasion, like she was axe murdered. I don't know what happened, but she is dead.
The drawing of her with the axe in her head, though, that doesn't happen in universe.
Yeah,
I think it's Schultz's headcanon. I don't think that it's like, some.
Oh, I mean, yeah, of course. I think it's everyone's headcanon. It's just, I think if you're looking canonically, maybe she moved away. It's possible.
Dead.
No. I mean, he brought back fucking Peggy Jean for like a one panel like scene. Like he was gonna bring back Charlotte Bronte if she wasn't dead.
Charlotte Bronte.
Sorry. Sorry, I forgot. I forgot this wasn't. I'm not gonna lie. I have had half a beer, so
Oh my goodness, that's
scandalous. I need
trash.
I need it to talk about the TV special. Let's talk about this line.
I'm gonna be the biggest queen there ever was.
Let's talk about how Linus immediately shoots her down with some like Republican bullshit, and then not like 15 minutes earlier, everyone was just telling Charlie Brown that he could have been king.
Well, the thing about that is women.
Here, all that Lucy would have had to do is kill Princess Diana and marry Prince Charles.
Oh, you're right.
Charlie Brown would have had to
ended very well.
Charlie Brown would have had to like fund like a monarchist revolution.
Wouldn't that be interesting, man? It would have been like Harry situation all over. It would have been interesting.
Who's the best Peanuts character? Just
Schroeder.
Straight up.
Oh well, no, Franklin is the best, unironically.
Franklin's very good.
Yeah, there's nothing else to say about Franklin except he's just the best character Schultz ever wrote, but he didn't write him like very much.
I think Peppermint Patty's pretty good.
Yeah,
I hate Lucy and Linus and Sally. I think those three suck.
I'm kind of partial to Marcy because
Marcy's good.
Like she's kind of an idiot, but people just assume she's smart because glasses.
Because of the glasses.
Well,
sorry, sir.
You can kind of. I think you might have read more. Like I've read probably maybe like 50% to 60% of the comics. There's just a lot, but you can correct me if I'm wrong, Andrew. But she is like not like stupid in the comics. She's just really stressed out about everything.
I don't think Marcy's ever portrayed as stupid. No, Marcy is like just weird. She's got a lot of weird tendencies. Also, I don't love the reading that she and Peppermint Patty are like together. I don't think that that's true. I don't think that's ever been true.
They both want to fuck Charlie Brown too much for that to be true.
No, she's into, they're both into Chuck. Peppermint Patty maybe less so.
They're both into Chuck, and I think that that's very clear. And the reading that they're gay somehow, I think is just weird.
It's just one of those like memes like that you see on the internet.
Yeah, it's like Bert and Ernie. Except for Bert and Ernie actually live together. So, I mean, like, at least that one makes a little more sense.
And they're grown men. The thing about Bert and Ernie is, in their universe, they are grown men. These are kids, so I feel weird, like, oh, definitely lesbians and all that
Especially
kind of
stuff. When a lot of the story with them is that they both like Charlie Brown. So
those are the worst comments that I get is like, who do you ship from the Peanuts? And I'm like, fucking no one.
Ship?
Woodstock and Snoopy.
Yeah, Woodstock and Snoopy, if anybody. Which also, when they started making Snoopy talk, the comic went downhill a little bit.
I think that he's funnier as a mime. And I think that that's what the musical struggles with a little bit. Like, it's kind of hard to, like, rectify, like...
I feel every now and then that I gotta bite someone.
With something like...
Nobody ever calls me Sugar Lips.
Like, you can get those two lines in a row from Snoopy, and it's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
When Snoopy started talking, I was like, wait, no, they're really doing this? Like, in this, specifically. Like, why... Snoopy shouldn't sing or talk in your special that's a musical. Snoopy is a dog. Especially when you have characters that you do fucking nothing with. Like, what the fuck is Sally even here for?
I've actually got a line for that. And I'm wondering, because this is from the 1983 or whatever version.
Yeah.
And obviously we all spend a lot of time listening to audio and like splicing audio. So we might be able to hear this, but for you listening at home or in the car, see if you can and tell if they just changed maybe a word in this.
You don't Give me that pen. I'll tell Sally what you said about her.
That was a last minute change.
So this is for all the audio engineers at home. If you're going to re-record a word, just do the whole line. But it's very clear
they didn't have time.
It's clear that they wrote this like with Patty and recorded it saying, I'll tell Patty what you said about her. And then they realized, oh, right, Patty's a shit character. Let's bin her. Who do we put in her place? Sally. And that's where that change comes from, is from this cartoon in 1983.
Mm-hmm. But that being said, I think it's a good change. And Kristen Chenoweth, it's worth having her career because of You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown.
Why is
Sally.
it a good change? Sally sucks. Peppermint Patty is way better.
It's not Peppermint Patty, it's Patty.
Oh, it's just Patty.
Yeah, no, it's just straight up Patty, who sucks even more. But like, they should have changed
not even
more.
A character.
It really doesn't make sense why like these like four people are just hanging around each other. Like, it's weird to see Lucy with Sally just like shooting the shit about like a dress she wore. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not something that they would have that conversation about. Sally would say like, yeah, I don't really care. Where's my money?
That is what Patty would do, is shoot the shit with Lucy. That is what Patty would do.
Well, in the 19 Vision one, whatever it was called, the 1973 one, Patty is just portrayed as like the stupidest person who's ever lived. And they carried
Isn't
that.
Patty's thing that she's loud? Am I mistaken?
I think Patty's just thing is that she was there first. It was originally Shermie, Patty, and Charlie Brown. Those were the first three characters.
Oh, I hate him.
Yeah, exactly. Just that was the first strip. And that's the vibes of the comic. I'm impressed that Schultz managed to turn that into a 50-year-long career.
He never changed it either. It's the same joke every time.
Yeah. When Clark Gessner was writing this, he was writing this in 1962, I think, right?
Yeah.
So he had the benefit of exactly like 3 years of Peanuts comics, whereas we, as mighty spacemen of the future, have the benefit of 50 years of Peanuts comics to make fun of him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think like that he was writing these characters super out of character. Like, I don't think that he was like, yeah, Patty's an idiot or something, and like that was an incorrect assessment. I just think that we're smarter than people in the 60s.
What? No way. They had all their stuff together. Before we move on to the letterbox game, and then some songs, I do want to share one thing that I think actually kind of works. So about 6 years ago, Michael Unger directed a New York Theater Company production of You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, starring all the Broadway kids. So every child that was on Broadway at the time, whether they were from Matilda or Fun Home and anything, they got them all together, and they're all like fantastic singers. But one of them is Millie Shapiro. Does that name ring a bell to any of you? She plays Sally in this production.
Is that the daughter of like Millie Bobby Brown and Ben Shapiro?
No, but that is a funny joke and 10 comedy points. It is the little girl from Hereditary who gets beheaded.
Oh.
And so
that'd really spice up the musical.
It did, but she is actually very good.
Why are you telling me my new philosophy? The teacher gave a D on last week's homework. She said, Miss Sally Brown, your grades are going down. I could have told her your new philosophy. My new philosophy.
See what I mean? Like, I think when kids perform this, and like really good kids, it can't just be like kids doing it for fun. I think this really sings. And I think that 2016 cast album is the best version to listen to.
I think children definitely have to be performing this. We didn't talk at all, but it's weird when Charlie Brown is a grown man.
With hair?
With hair.
Okay, listen, he always has hair. It's just very light.
He's got one hair.
That's the weird thing about the Peanuts movie that I hated, is how they animated his hair is just like one like unicorn hair sticking out of his forehead. No, Charlie Brown has hair canonically. It's just, it's like, you know, the blondest friend that you have whose like hair is like translucent.
Nah,
he's because Schultz didn't like to, he's bald. Yeah, whatever. My dad's a barber.
It also separates him from the rest of the crew. Except,
yeah, well, it meant that Schultz could use less ink when drawing him.
Yeah.
Didn't have to do the hair that he did for Shermie, or the shading that he did for Franklin.
On that note, it's time for everyone's favorite point of the game. It's time for previews. And this is the time when we compare our opinions to those of the real critics out there, those on Letterboxd.com. And I'm going to read you both, going head-to-head, a real Letterboxd review from any of the Peanut shorts, and you have to tell me, based on the review alone, whether it's a 1-star or a 5-star.
I was about to ask, are there even enough Letterboxd reviews to do that for your good man, Charlie Brown?
No, they were not, so I went into all of them.
Okay, good. That gives me some context.
Who wants to go first?
Let our guest go first, I think.
All right, Big Beak, you ready?
Thank you. Yes.
Charlie Brown did have hosts, actually.
Can I, ask which one that's from?
I would not be able to answer that for you.
Okay.
You can ask, and sometimes I will know. That one I do not know.
Okay. I'm going to guess that's from 2002, which is a piece of shit, so I'm going to say 1 star.
That was a 5-star.
Charlie Brown's got hose.
Andrew, are you ready?
I guess so.
Cool Thumb Brown, just passing through.
Cool Thumb Brown, just passing through. Okay. 5 stars.
That is correct, and was also written by our own guest, Big Beak Entertainment.
Oh, really?
Yes, I am a Letterboxd person.
What did you write that for? You like this one?
I wrote that for the 2006 He's a Bully, Charlie Brown, starring Taylor Lautner, of all people.
Oh, damn.
That's something I think we should make fun of more celebrities for, is the time they spent with Charlie Brown.
I'm sorry. He's Jeffrey Epstein. We got to bring that up more often. But you went to the Charlie Brown Island.
Yeah, I think it's hilarious that Fergie's first gig was as Sally.
And Elizabeth Moss was somewhere in there.
Well, we can make fun of Elizabeth Moss for other things.
Yeah. All right. Are you ready, Big Beak?
I thought I was, but all right, let me have it, I guess.
I think it's really funny that this made it canon that Charlie Brown likes MILFs.
I'm trying to reverse engineer it. If I can guess the special, I'm not going to guess it. 1 star?
That is a 5-star.
I can't think of any instance of Charlie Brown being down bad for a MILF.
I cannot either.
Doesn't it just turn you on though? Womp 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 womp.
Oof. I mean, is that person single? All right, Andrew. Drunk driver picks up Snoopy's brother and shows him a good time.
Which brother?
The only one that they care about. Yeah, I know.
Oh, the cactus guy?
Yeah.
I gotta say 5 stars again.
That is a 1 star because that movie looks like an insane trip.
That movie's great, actually. Every single person listening to this should watch It's the Girl in the Red Truck, Charlie Brown.
Great, I'm gonna go change then. Spike, I'll be back in a minute.
Peppermint Patty and Snoopy murder 10 boys.
5 stars.
That is correct. And you all are tied now. All right, one more time around, then we're done.
I swear I was behind. All right, we're tied. Yeah, we're tied.
He doesn't actually keep track. He just likes to say we're tied
No.
at the
Andrew
end.
never got anything after the first one.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right, Andrew.
Okay.
Linus hunts cougars.
Okay. Linus actually would be into older women, that's for sure.
It's either Linus or Rerun. One of them is the sex pest.
Rerun's a fake character that I won't acknowledge.
You don't like Rerun? The fuck, man? He's just a kid.
Watch out. He's going to get Charlotte Brond.
He basically did because he disappeared as soon as Apple bought it.
You can flip a coin on whether or not Rerun is alive or not.
Linus hunts cougars. That's going to be a 1 star.
That is a 5-star. All right, Big Beak. This is the last one. We can win this all here, even though it's not fair at all because you started this. So,
even if I'm wrong, please lie to me and tell me that it's right.
Snoopy brought a loaded gun into Charlie Brown's home.
5 stars. That's the Thanksgiving one.
That is correct, and you have won the Letterboxd game.
Oh, thank goodness! My entire identity was wrapped up in winning that game, so I'm really glad that I did.
Okay, some guests that we've had get really anxious during that game. They get actually really competitive and uncomfortable during it, so I'm glad you took it with stride.
Well, having written probably half of those reviews, I think that I might have had a bit of a leg up.
There was another review of yours that I didn't read, which is Lucy is a flat earther confirmed.
Yeah, she is. Actually, no, she would just do that if it was profitable. So she is the ultimate flat earther. She's a grifter.
Hey Hey guys, sorry to interrupt you in the middle of the show, but we've got a shell at you. Today's show is brought to you by the extremely kind donations by our donors over at Patreon. And over at Patreon, you can get all this fun shit. We got commentaries. We got full-blown different podcasts. You can watch me and Andrew do commentaries on the Star Wars Holiday Special, the Rugrats movie, both Camp Rock movies, the Goofy movie, and all 3 High School Musical movies, along with just a lot of other crazy bullshit. But Andrew, why don't you tell... Actually, our guests, I can see right in the top of their lips that they just want to say support them on Patreon. I can see that right at the top of their toucan lips that they want to say it.
Yeah, you should support them on Patreon. I don't know why the fuck you're not.
I got him to say it! It did it! I got Doug Walker to support us!
Doug Walker is now a patron.
Listen, I review it so you don't have to. And let me tell you guys, I took a fucking bullet for you this time.
But who is supporting us, Andrew?
Our current patrons are, and here we go, Melissa Goldman, Danielle Renix, Justice Stampede, Ewan Cassidy, Monica Thoreau, Mina Maneri, Brent Black, Nathaniel Stacy Coombe, Joseph Evans Green, Mary Lou Choquette, John Vanals, Russ Walker, Musical Hell, Emily Gracie, Kyle Summers, Janae C, Scoot in the Technicolor Dreamcoat, Liz Lim, Nothing is Certain Except Beth in Texas, Thespian, Ren Cullen, Rafael Martinez Salaz, Jessica T, Mitchell Young, Chai Teacup, Katie McDonough, Chris Marcotte, Kiji Marie Anastasio, Trevi Joseph, Leela, RJ Nariga, Charlie B, Charlie Brown is our patron, Bjorn Hermans, Toriana Frazier, Sammy the Most Lopez, Liana Morton, Kaylee Blazier, Cinemageddon Reviews, Villainous Miss, Sophina Ali, The Omega Geek, Paige Pearson, Maddie Wargle, Eliza Erdman, Anna Loskatova, Cheska Veray, Sarah Den Blaker, Evan Ball, Zachary Torres, Gathering Party Before Venturing Forth, Rora Marasso, Mara Forloin, Captain Rodtastic, Lisa L, Sarah Walsh, Nobody, and The Nostalgia Critic.
Nobody is the Nostalgia Critic, and they just are too embarrassed to admit it, so... but they give us a little extra financial support that helps us keep the lights on here at Musicals with Cheese. If you would like to join them and get Patreon-only commentaries and tons of other shit, come join us over at Patreon. All right, let's get back to the show. You're a good man, Charlie Brown. Da, 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 da. I don't like this song.
Charlie Brown, I don't understand. You're a prince, and a prince could be king. With a heart such as yours, you could open any doors. You could go out and do anything. You could be King Charlie Brown. You could be king forever. You could be king. Things must end. I've memorized that phrase by heart. So tell me, I need to know it. When do the good things start? Charlie Brown.
I really, I stayed away from this musical for a very long time because I really did not like this opening number.
I think that it's not the number that they should open it with. I don't think it's bad, but it's not the one that they should open with. I think they should open with the kite one.
Yeah, because we always like to see Charlie Brown in pain. More recently, they start with the Vince Guaraldi, and that one.
That's incorrect. They shouldn't do that.
I don't really feel like this song makes sense as an opener, just because it seems like it comes out of nowhere. Everyone's just talking about how much they shit on Charlie Brown, and then all of a sudden they're also all singing about how he's great. I don't know. Maybe I'm misinterpreting the lyrics. Maybe it's all sarcastic. They actually don't like Charlie Brown.
It feels like they wrote the song before the script.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because I don't know. It feels a little weird. Honestly, it just feels out of character for everybody, because nobody in this show says they like Charlie Brown. At least not really. And then
Lucy does.
At the very beginning, they all love him.
I think that Schroeder doesn't say anything negative about him. I think he's just like, Charlie Brown, isn't good at stuff. That's not incorrect.
Schroeder is always kind of just neutral because he doesn't give a shit about anything except for Beethoven. Really?
He's got a hyperfixation and he's not moving away from it.
I mean, he literally, his posture is crouched over staring at his piano. I mean,
boys pick one personality and stick with it for their entire life.
Usually it's trains.
I wish it was trains. It's usually cars.
No, I haven't.
It's like boys pick one of these as a personality, and it's like a train or like a soldier or like a plane or something or an astronaut.
What? And ours? A microphone.
Yeah, the podcasters.
Yeah. And somehow we're the cringiest.
A podcaster now.
We live our lives in the podcast mines, churning out content for you, the glorious patron.
I will say sincerely that the pandemic killed podcasting being an interesting and niche thing because then everyone got a fucking podcast.
It's like artisanal mining. The barrier to entry is just so low that, like, how could you not?
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But then, like, pandemic, no one had anything to do. So then they got a podcast and then they abandoned it as soon as they, like, got back to real life.
Except us. We were pathetic enough to stick with it.
We were pathetic enough to be podcasters before the pandemic.
Aha! We're worse. You want to talk about the kite? I mean, we mentioned it briefly.
Yeah, let's talk about the kite song.
Little more speed, little more rope, little more wind, little more hope. Gotta get this stupid kite to fly. Gotta make sure it doesn't snag, doesn't droop, doesn't drag. Gotta watch out for every little whoops. Less speed, little more tack, less rise, little more slack. Gotta keep my wits about me now. Gotta make sure it doesn't get the best of me till I get it in the air somehow. Millions of little kids do it every day. They make a kite and poof, it's in the sky. Leave it to me to have the one fool kite who likes to see a little kid cry.
I think this is the song you should start with because this seems to most like the I Want song to me.
Yeah. I mean, as far as this has a narrative, sure.
Well, like, you could structure a narrative out of this. You could, like, extract a story from this if you really wanted to about Charlie Brown, failing to fly a kite. And then he's like, oh, well, maybe you could do like Pippin where, like shit. And the story is like, oh, I wanted to fly a kite, but maybe that's not my purpose. Oh, well, maybe I can be, good at, I don't know, tying my shoes or something. Oh, well, I failed at that.
And then you end with the Pen Pal song.
Then we have the pen pal, then we have the baseball. That's a good one.
Yeah, you can structure it. They just didn't. And that speaks to me, like, you could just get away with anything in the 60s. Like, you really did not have to try very much.
You just had to have a recognizable brand.
I mean, have you seen Godspell?
I mean, yeah. Have you seen Godspell?
No, I haven't.
You don't need a plot. You do not need a plot.
You just need a familiar brand, like Jesus.
Or Charlie Brown.
They are equivalents. In fact, I might say Charlie Brown is bigger than Jesus.
Charlie Brown does have a longer book at this point.
Yeah,
I think it is technically the longest story written by a single man.
I just really love, he's like, Snoopy likes me. And she's like, no, you just feed him and he pretends to like you. Your dog hates you.
It's funny because that's unironically true. Like, Snoopy doesn't actually like Charlie Brown that much.
I don't think he hates him, though.
He doesn't hate him. But I don't know how much love there is between Charlie and Snoopy.
Is there love between Snoopy and Sally, though?
Do they even know each other exist?
They have to. There's a fetch game that they play in this.
Yeah, but that was Patty originally.
You're citing this as canon?
Keep in mind, anything with Sally is supposed to be Patty in canon.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Charles Schultz never approved this being Sally. You're right.
I do think that Snoopy was originally supposed to be Patty's dog.
When did that change?
I don't know, like the 4th or 5th strip. Schultz changed stuff all the time. Woodstock's technically like the first trans Peanuts character, just because Schultz was like, it's a girl. Oh, no, wait, it's a boy.
So it's kind of like Tweety Bird, where for years we all just assumed Tweety Bird was a girl, but no, it's a boy. Because it's kind of
Wait, Tweety Bird's not a girl?
No, it's a boy.
Oh, okay. Well, I learned something today.
I think the only female Looney Tune is Lola, and they had to introduce her in the 90s.
Well, there's the cat. There's the cat that gets sexually harassed every episode.
Pepe Le Pew. Pepe Le Pew's like, I don't think that cat ever had a line of dialogue, but let's move on to the next song. Let's talk about little known facts. The song about Lucy being a flat earther.
Come along, Linus. You see this tree? It is a fir tree. It's called a fir tree because it gives us fur for coats. It also gives us wool in the wintertime.
I never knew that before, Lucy. That's very interesting.
This is an elm tree. It's very little, but it will grow up into a giant tree. An oak, you can tell how old it is by counting its leaves.
Gosh, Lucy, that's fascinating. Now, wait a minute, Lucy. I don't mean to interfere, but actually...
Let's talk about little known facts.
Let's talk about what they don't want you to know.
Where do you really think the rain comes from, Charlie Brown? You think that's air you're breathing?
Do you see this tree? It is a fir tree. It's called a fir tree because it gives us fur coats, and it gives us wool in the wintertime.
Okay, I laughed. I don't know. Do we not think this is funny?
I like this scene.
Am I missing something?
I think it's funny, but I've heard it like 7 times at this point, so it just becomes like, yeah, okay, Lucy is, either just setting up Linus for failure or proving that she herself is the stupidest person alive.
And Charlie Brown just like wants to correct her, and she's like, Charlie Brown, no, you're wrong. She gaslights Charlie Brown to his face.
I mean, that's just any argument with a flat earther.
It's a Lucy thing to do, though. Like, Lucy is a fucking piece of shit.
It comes up out of the ground like grass. It comes up, Charlie Brown. Snow comes up.
I do want to talk about how this song suffers from an utter lack of Woodstock in every performance. Because keep in mind, this play was written before Woodstock existed.
Yes.
Snoopy's character really does not work without Woodstock, in my opinion. But when Sally points to Woodstock in the cartoon, I'm like, yes, that joke lands. When Sally just does it like on stage, or I'm sorry, not Sally. I keep saying Sally because Lucy is, not somebody who I really think of very often. But when Lucy points to nothing on stage, it's like, what is okay? Is it an eagle? Oh, I guess it's just a sparrow. Okay,
we're missing something.
Yeah, it's visual humor that is not being communicated effectively.
Yeah, we should really write a bunch of letters to Andrew Lippa and say, hey, you fucked up. You fucked up with this musical and you're a failure. Really?
Yo, real quick, I want to shout out the absolute Chad who recorded this thing like under his jacket or something in the middle of the theater.
In 1999.
And he was doing the camera zooms and he was like, yeah, this is going to be a real production. And I want to shout this guy out because this is the only footage that I think we could find.
Yes.
Was this one like bootleg pirated copy.
Bootleggers are like
the backbone of Broadway.
These people are heroes.
Preservation people. Like,
yeah, truly. And it looked better than the 1973 special.
Let's talk about Supper Time, which is kind of the 11 o'clock number, weirdly.
Supper time? Supper time? Behold the brimming bowl of meat and meal, which is brought forth to ease our hunger. Behold the flowing flagon, moist and sweet, which has been sent to slake our thirst.
So supper time. Snoopy sings about wanting food.
And Charlie Brown tells him,
okay, there's no need for a big production.
Hey, and then everyone claps their hands.
Yeah, I agree with Charlie Brown. I think that, Snoopy should just keep it down a little bit.
People are trying to sleep in the audience.
I do like Roger Bart playing Snoopy. I do like Roger Bart as Snoopy on stage. I just don't think Snoopy should talk ever.
No, I like him too. I think that his mannerism, I think that he's probably the best performer up there.
I agree.
But I also think that he's got a pretty easy job. I don't think that it's like pushing the boundaries of acting.
No, but I like Anthony Rapp as a human being. Him as Charlie Brown. I don't know what he was going for.
I don't know what any of them were going for. At least he didn't do like a weird voice. Roger Bart.
Yeah. Everyone else did, except Kristen Chenoweth. Her voice is weird enough without doing a weird voice.
Yeah, if we want to talk about how only shrill children should sing this, we can talk about Kristen Chenoweth.
I think that she really comes out strong there, and I think she won the Tony for her little role.
Yeah, she did. I as part of my trying to find this performance, I saw her Tony performance of My Philosophy.
Yeah, and she's good.
It was very good. Yeah.
She is a bucket of charm, and I'm grateful she's had the career she has.
It's a shame I hate the song so much.
Why do you hate the song?
I hate both of the songs. I hate Beethoven Day more, but I also hate My Philosophy.
It's weird. What do you have against Beethoven Day first?
It sucks.
Schroeder, I just want you to know I'm on your side. I want to help you publicity-wise with Beethoven's birthday.
Thanks for your support, but I just don't want to see Beethoven's birthday commercialized.
Commercialized?
Yes, the next thing you know, they'll be wearing Beethoven sweatshirts.
Beethoven Day.
If you're wondering now how do we start, just blow the music till you know it by heart. We're gonna celebrate, we'll throw a party, Beethoven's birthday. Beethoven Day. And when you say the title, Beethoven Day, you'll hear a great recital. A right of every boy and girl to stand up and say, hooray, Beethoven, hooray.
Schroeder's whole thing, I guess it's kind of my joke that Schroeder is the most base Peanuts character because he will stick up for Charlie Brown and he really doesn't care what anyone else thinks of him, as long as he is just kind of doing the thing that he's comfortable with. Schroeder in this is like, I've got to get everybody to sign on to Beethoven Day at any cost. But we also got to make sure that we don't commercialize him. But also, I want to put his face on Mount Rushmore.
I will say, if Schroeder's going to do that about anything, it would be Beethoven.
I also, just like, I get it. Schroeder likes Beethoven. Like, introduce him to like 9 Inch Nails or something. Like spice it up.
No, this is art. What about my like, what's that speech he gives?
Oh yeah, playing great music is an art. An art. Do you hear me? An art. Art, 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 art.
Saloon gals, sing. Little bitty snot-nosed children, sing. I yodel, and yodeling is an art.
I don't know who was doing the, obviously rating a stage performance is very different when you're watching it behind a screen versus when you're in the audience. I imagine the audience was like losing their minds over that. I thought it was a little over the top. That's just me, having seen this at the end of a long list of other Peanuts content, including the same musical twice over.
It was Stanley Wayne Mathis who played it on Broadway. He's well known. He's like a good character actor. Like he was the main chief in the Book of Mormon. He was in the Lion King original Broadway cast as one of the hyenas. But most famously, he was Schroeder in You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. And on that note, what is our overall thoughts on You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, and our cheese ratings? Andrew, why don't you go first?
Honestly, it's a bit of a mess. It just doesn't have anything to like really pull you in. And even as a fan of the Peanuts, like you got to do a bit more than just kind of short vignettes of these things that aren't even really that funny. And I don't know. I wasn't really sucked into it at all. I didn't get nothing out of it because I think that there are a couple jokes and songs that work. And it is short, which being short is a big plus. So there is that. Still, I don't think I can recommend it really. Though I will give it a cheese rating of a grilled cheese made in a Snoopy and Woodstock grilled cheese make, which I assume puts a little pattern on it. I hope either that or it just is a grilled cheese maker that has Snoopy and Woodstock on it.
Be a very regularly shaped grilled cheese.
Yeah,
I don't think that would work at all. All right, Big Beak, how about you?
I'm not really much of a musical guy. I did look up the reviews for this. There was this one review by this guy named Ben Brantley.
No! Don't you dare! We avoided this.
I think that he was right on the money. A very perceptive individual. He said basically like this should really not be on Broadway. They like did not know how to make this a big production. There's this one scene where Linus is like dancing with his blanket, and it's like the blanket's like on one wire. It's very clear that like this was not like a Jim Henson production. And it just they really did not know what to do. I think that was the biggest problem is like they had this big albatross around their neck, which is the original album that we have to write around. And then they just didn't. So I really would even hesitate to call this a musical. I'd probably call it a review first. I think that you guys might disagree with me on that, but I would give this a cheese rating of peanut cheese, which is because it's what the Dutch call peanut butter. So it's a lie. Exactly like calling this a musical.
I actually kind of agree with the idea that this isn't really a musical. I feel like I might call it like a song cycle or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know enough vocabulary to be as smart about it as you guys, so I'll
It doesn't have the musical structure in any real way.
No.
So
It's closer to something like Godspell than it is to something like, I don't know, Book of Mormon.
Which a lot of people would just kind of vaguely put that in the category of musical anyways, but if we're talking like more specifically, structure-wise, I feel like this doesn't really fit.
On that note, Big Beak, you do incredible things on the internet. Promote them for the world to see and find.
You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/@channelawesome.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Watch Pop Quiz Hot Shot. Whatever
and
else
Melvin Brother the Joker.
Yeah, whatever else I've made, obviously it's all good.
Pop Quiz Hot Shot, that's a classic.
Demo reel, that classic.
Oh yeah, demo. No, but subscribe to youtube.com/@Big Beak Entertainment if you want to see basically whatever I feel like uploading whenever I feel like uploading it. I don't usually do peanut stuff, but I will do another one at some point because you guys keep asking me for it. But probably not before like Starfield comes out or something. I don't know how to preface this entire thing.
You'll never get more Charlie Brown shit. Stop asking for it. Thank you guys for listening. Please follow us on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and Musicals with Cheese. Leave us a review on iTunes. Tell us how wrong we are and how this is the best musical ever. Follow us on Twitter @Cheesy Musicals. We're on Patreon at Musicals with Cheese, Instagram Musicals with Cheese, YouTube page Musicals with Cheese. Email us at musicaltheaterlives@gmail.com with your manifesto about how your good man Charlie Brown is actually better than the Phantom of the Opera, and I don't even know if I disagree with that. Our keeper of the cheese is Juliet Antonio. You're fucking great, Juliet. Don't you forget that. This show is edited by Andrew DeWolf, and he's doing a fucking fantastic job. Thank you to the Broadway Podcast Network for having us on the platform and for not kicking us off, for inviting Doug Walker onto our show. And way up there, the little stars and planets, they make the rain that often showers. And when it's cold and winter is upon us, the snow comes up just like the flowers.